Hey there, it's Tara, your yoga bestie, and we've got a great class today. If you have blocks, I recommend having 2 of them. And if you don't, all good. You're only going to really miss out on just the very beginning portion. You could also use some large books or something else that you'll be able to utilize as a block. Let's go ahead and get started. We're starting out in a heart opener. So again, if you have those blocks, we're going to place one underneath our chest. Hello, Lionel. And we're going to make sure that our shoulders come over that block. I recommend definitely coming into either the lowest level or maybe the second level. And then the other block is for your head. And not need this block because maybe your head touches the mat already. But if it doesn't, then make sure you have this. And for the beginning portion of what we're doing, we will want a block underneath our head even if we can touch the mat because of just what we're doing. So you can always remove it and then have it nearby so that you can access it when we start. But once you have your block set up, go ahead and bring your arms out to the sides. Determine where you want your legs to be. So you can always have the soles of the feet onto the mat, or maybe you have the legs extended, or the soles of the feet might come together as you let the knees open up to the sides. And once you find your space, go ahead and close your eyes as we start to tap into our Ujai breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Letting go of any thoughts or worries so that we can focus our mind on our breath for our practice today. So our Ujjayi breath is an audible breath. You're going to hear a snoring-like sound in the back of the throat, kind of like you're fogging up a mirror with your nose. And we'll create a rhythm where we inhale to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just continue with this rhythm, knowing you can always add or subtract any counts. We're currently in the heart chakra, which is our 4th chakra, located at the heart center. So envision a green light coming from that area of the body. Other things that the 4th chakra is associated with are things like feelings of love, compassion, empathy, joy, self-love. It's associated with the element of air, the planet Venus. In addition to the heart, it also is where our circulatory system lies and our lungs. And in our practice, it shows up in back bends and heart openers. And the affirmation that I'm offering up this week that coincides with our 4th chakra is I release all fear, allowing love to heal and transform me. Again, that's I release all fear, allowing love to heal and transform me. So you might say that as inhaling the words I release all fear, exhaling the words allowing love to heal and transform me. And feel free to utilize that whenever you like. I'll also be referring to it throughout our practice today. On our next inhale, let's find a nice full body stretch. So keeping on the blocks, you're going to feel a little bit more of a heart opener. And then we'll bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice today. And take a big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. If you don't have that block underneath your head, go ahead and place it there. It doesn't matter where your legs are, so you can have them in any position that you started out in. But we're going to have our hands to each side of the block. And then on our inhale, we'll hold it here. As we exhale, we'll lift up, coming into this little crunch as we pick up our head, pick up that block, and gaze forward. Inhale, we'll lower the head down. Exhale, lift. And we're just going to move at the pace of our own breath, opening up this thoracic spine a little bit by coming into these little movements. Take note that you could also move a little bit here from side to side as you lift up the head with the block. You might even find that you hear a little bit of snap, crackle, and pop there. Or just keep with this same movement of lifting and lowering with the breath. Yeah, we'll do 2 more of these. And then after that's complete, go ahead and get a nice full body stretch again, creating more space in the chest. And then from here, we're gonna roll to our sides, place the soles of the feet onto the mat so that we can remove the blocks. And then we'll come onto our backs now without any support underneath us, getting our nice full body stretch here. And then we'll bring our knees into our chest as we start to rock and roll forward and back. So finding a rhythm that feels good in your body. Yeah, what you think, bubs? Maybe not the best spot. We're gonna be in a tabletop position on our hands and knees, really spreading through the fingers nice and wide. And just find some movement that feels good to you in this moment. So maybe it's some lateral movement from side to side, like making the letter U or C with the body. Maybe it's some cat-cow movements. Maybe it's some wrist stretches. Maybe it's hanging out with your little buddy, giving him some scritches. Oh, good boy. Yeah, and then when you're ready, we're gonna tuck all 10 toes under as we sit back into our heels, coming into our child's pose with a nice little foot stretch here. And eventually we'll come into our first down dog of the practice. So really spreading through the fingers nice and wide, and then finding some movement to warm up in this first down dog. So maybe you're bicycling the legs or bending the knees and moving the hips from side to side. Also a great time to check in with the breath as you come into this upside down shape. Big inhale. Exhale. And then on our inhale, we'll shift it forward into our plank or push-up position, nice and strong, gazing at the space in front of us. So maybe the top of the mat or slightly past it. And then we'll exhale back into our down dog, lifting up those hips. Inhale, we'll shift it forward. Exhale, let's lower onto our bellies this time for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, all the way down, tops of the feet coming to the mat. Hands are underneath the shoulders. And we'll inhale, lifting up Cobra Pose, Bhujangasana. As we exhale, we'll lower. And we're gonna start to move through these at the pace of our breath. So just find a rhythm that feels good to you. You can always change something up. Like I like to come onto my fingertips in this wide stance and then incorporate some shoulder dips here. Next time the forehead lowers, go ahead and make your way back into your down dog. We're gonna engage our core, so belly button draws in the spine as we walk our hands to the back of our mat, so hands to feet for our forward fold. So you can separate your feet about hip distance apart, which is 2 fists in between the feet, maybe wider than that. I do it pretty wide, it feels better in my body that way. And then maybe you find opposite elbows to reach for, or arms could come behind the back. You might walk your hands from side to side. See what you're needing here. Checking in with the breath. As we exhale, release those arms. You can start to toe heel our feet in towards one another as we roll all the way up to standing. And as soon as we're all the way up, go ahead and reach those arms up overhead, gaze is up. Exhale, forward fold. So either swan diving or bringing the hands through heart center. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. Exhale into our forward fold. And then we'll gaze forward. We're gonna walk it all the way back forward into our plank or push-up position, nice and strong. Exhale, slowly lowering, maybe to a hover this time, chaturanga. Inhaling into your cobra or maybe up dog if you're ready. And we'll exhale into our down dog, lifting up those hips nice and high. From here, go ahead and lift up the right leg. We're gonna open up that hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling as we work that left heel down. And we can stay right here, or maybe we start to make some circles going in one direction, going in the other direction. Nice. As we inhale, we'll straighten that leg. Exhale, knee draws to nose as we bring that foot all the way through for our runner's lunge. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my blocks. If you like to have blocks to each side of the foot to bring the floor closer to you, perfect. And we're just gonna start to shift forward and back. So as we inhale, think about drawing your shoulders back, gaze lifts, chest lifts. Exhale, working those legs straightish to come into our pyramid-like pose. And as you move forward and back at the pace of your breath, know that you can always linger somewhere. You can always lower that back knee down for part of it or all of it. It feels nice to get into that hip flexor a little bit. And then the next time that you shift it forward, go ahead and lower that back knee down right above the kneecap. And we're gonna move into our Exalted Warrior in a supported version because the knee is down. So we're just gonna bring that right arm around as we reach the left arm up. Gaze can be past your right shoulder or up towards the left fingertips. We're also gonna have those back toes tucked under so that we can lift up that knee. So we'll inhale here. As we exhale, those toes are tucked so that we can face the opposite long edge of our mat. And we're gonna bring our right hand down as we twist towards the back of our mat. So stacking shoulder on top of shoulder. Notice where your weight is in the feet. You wanna make sure that you're drawing it forward towards the balls of the feet so you're not sitting all the way back into your heels. You're also gonna feel your core engaged. Big breath in. And then as we exhale, we're gonna bring our right leg through. So we're gonna be facing the back of our mat coming onto our seat as we move into our boat pose or Navasana. So you might have your hands down or you might have your legs, our arms extended. And we're gonna lower down for canoe as we inhale. Exhale, we lift. We're doing this 3 times. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, we lift. And from here, we're gonna bring our left leg underneath our right as we come into a seated twist. So really hug this right knee in close to your body as you sit up nice and tall. And then the right arm comes behind us, left arm reaches up as we either hug this knee in or use our elbow as leverage for our twist. Shoulders draw down as we lengthen through the crown of the head. That's our inhale. Exhale, belly button draws into the spine as we might go a little bit deeper into our twist. Take a full breath in here. Exhale. So listen, we're gonna extend our right leg towards the top of our mat. So that's our top leg. And left hand comes to the back of the mat because we're coming into a staggered side plank. So left leg is gonna come behind as we reach that right arm up, lifting those hips up towards the ceiling. From here, we're picking up that right leg and coming onto the ball of the foot as we move into Wild Thing. So coming into our back bend, lifting up those hips. Gaze can go towards the right fingertips. Inhale. And then as we exhale, bring your right hand down. So we're in a plank pose with our leg bent. And we're coming all the way onto our belly. So we're moving into a one-legged bow pose. So we might start out by reaching those arms back and lifting up this right quad. This is where we begin. And this is a great place to be. If you have more space available, you might reach for that foot with one or both hands. And then from that space, it'll push into one or both hands. And you can keep grounded by keeping that left foot onto the mat, or you might lift up that left leg. Taking a full breath in here. As we exhale, release onto your belly. Take a full breath in. Exhale. And then bring the hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under as we make our way into our down dog. All right, so from our down dog, we'll lift up our left leg, opening up that hip, heel to behind, knee up towards the ceiling as we work the right heel down. Can stay here. We can start to make some circles, going in one direction, going in the other direction. Nice. We'll inhale, straightening that leg. Exhale, knee draws to nose as we bring that foot all the way through. And if you want those blocks and they're on the other side of the mat, just go and get them. That's what I'm doing. So from here, we'll start to shift forward and back from our runner's lunge to our pyramid-like pose. And you might notice one side is different than the other side. So you can approach it differently. Whatever this side needs, you do. Next time that we shift it forward, go ahead and lower the back knee down right above the kneecap. And we're moving into that supported Exalted Warrior. So we're gonna bring that left arm down. It can come around. And right arm is up, either gazing past our shoulder or up towards the fingertips. Big breath in here, making sure we have those back toes tucked under because we're gonna move into that wide forward fold twist. So as soon as we tuck those toes under, we're gonna face the opposite side of the mat. Left hand comes down this time as right arm reaches up, twisting towards the top of your mat. stacking shoulder on top of shoulder. Big breath in. On our exhale, bring that left leg through as you come onto your seat. Right leg is going to meet it as we come into our boat pose, and we'll inhale as we lower. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, we lift. This time, right leg is going to come underneath as that left leg is on top, setting up for our seated twist. So you can hug that knee in, sitting up nice and tall. Left arm comes behind us, right arm can reach up as we either hug that knee in or use our elbow as leverage for our twist. That block out of the way. Big breath in. Exhale. We're coming into that staggered side plank. So we're going to bring the left leg towards the back of our mat. It's also the front leg. Right hand comes to the top as we bring that right leg behind the left, lifting up those hips. So strong here. And then pick up that left leg. Come onto the ball of that foot as we come into our wild thing, our back bend here. Inhale. As we exhale, coming into our plank pose with that bent leg all the way onto our bellies. Coming into our one-legged bow pose. So we can reach those arms back and lift up that quad. Maybe we take that foot or ankle with one or both hands, and then that foot pushes into them. Maybe we lift up the right leg. Big breath here. Exhale, we'll release. Hands come underneath the shoulders, and we'll push it back into our down dog. Full breath in. Exhale, and then bending the knees, we'll gaze forward as we either walk or float to the top of our mat, coming into our forward fold. We'll reverse swan dive all the way up, reaching up and back. And as we exhale, we're going to come back into our forward fold as we move through some sun A's here. So we'll inhale, lengthening halfway. Hands plant as we either step or float back. Lowering or hovering. Inhaling into your cobra or up dog. Exhaling into your down dog. Exhale. Bending the knees, we gaze forward as we step or float to the top. Inhale, lengthening halfway. Exhale into our forward fold. Let's reverse swan dive all the way up, reaching up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant as we step or float back. Lowering or hovering. Inhaling into your cobra or up dog. Exhaling into your down dog. Big breath here. Exhale. Bend your knees, gaze forward as you step or float to the top. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, forward fold. We'll reverse all the way up, reaching up and back. Exhale into our forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant as we step or float back. Lowering or hovering. Inhaling into our cobra or up dog. Exhaling into our down dog. Full breath in. Exhale. And then find a resting position of choice. That concludes our warm-up. So good time to check in with the body, get a drink of water, towel off, check in with your breath, maybe close down the eyes for a moment. Maybe refer back to our affirmation of I release all fear, allowing love to heal and transform me. Again, that's I release all fear, allowing love to heal and transform me. So we're going to move into our first main sequence of the practice. If you're new to my class, we do 2 main sequences that we repeat a couple times with more pacing, and at the end we bring them together for one main sequence. So the first part I call peanut butter, second part I call jelly, and when we bring them together, we have a delicious peanut butter and jelly sequence. And the good news is we always take pieces from our warm-up. It's not going to be brand new for the most part, but we're going to meet at the top of our mat coming into our mountain pose. And in our mountain pose, we're going to have our right foot to the center of our mat, and our left leg is going to come behind. So we're coming into a cross-legged mountain pose. Once we're here, we're going to reach for our left wrist, and we're going to lean in towards the right side. from this space, we're going to play around with some little rotations. So we're going to bring ourselves all the way and around. Try this a couple times. Don't do it too fast because it's going to make you dizzy, and I don't want to make you dizzy. But kind of feel all the space along the side bodies as you do. And then for our main sequence, we're just doing this partially. So we're going to spin down and bring our right fingertips in front of our right toes. So you might have your block here for that. And we're opening up into our half moon. So left arm and leg lift. Really flexing through that foot. So feeling that engagement there. Inhale. As we exhale, lower the left hand down. Take a big step back. So we're in our runner's lunge. And we're moving into a runner's twist. So left hand comes down. Right arm reaches up as we twist towards the other side. And then keep your right arm lifted. We're moving into that supported exalted warrior. So we're lowering that back knee down as we reach the left arm up and overhead. Back toes are tucked under because we're moving into that wide twist. So we're going to face the opposite long edge of the mat. Right hand comes down, left arm comes up, so we twist towards the back of the mat. From here, we're bringing that right leg through as we come onto our seat, coming into our boat pose. And we've got 3 of these, so we'll inhale, lowering. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And we're going to bring our right leg underneath our left leg. Using momentum, we're going to come to standing, and we're set up for that cross-legged mountain pose. So left leg is in front of our right leg. Arms will reach up overhead, and we're going to reach for the right wrist this time as we lean in towards the left. We're going to start to play with those little circles again, so going all the way around. See how that feels, moving at a pace that does not make you dizzy. And then we'll go into it for real, which is that semicircle, where we have maybe our block there for our left hand in front of those toes, moving into our half moon here. So really flexing through that right foot like you're placing a big footprint on the space behind you. Big breath in. On our exhale, right hand lowers, big step back as we come into our runner's lunge to our twist. So right hand comes down, left arm reaches up. We keep this left arm reaching up as we lower the back knee down and come into our exalted warrior, where right arm will then reach up as we lift the torso. Back toes are tucked under. We're facing that other long edge of the mat as we twist towards the top of the mat. So left hand is down, right arm reaches up. Inhale. As we exhale, bring your left leg through as you come onto your seat. We're moving into our boat pose where we've got 3. So we inhale, lowering. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And left leg comes behind, using momentum to come all the way into your cross-legged mountain pose. So it's an infinity flow, which means it never ends. We'll reach the arms up overhead. We'll reach for that left wrist as we lean in towards the right, making our semicircle, maybe meeting up with our block as we come into our half moon, lifting up that left arm and leg. And then big step back as we take our runner's twist. Back knee lowers as we lift up for our exalted warrior, tucking those back toes under. And then we move into our wide twist. Right hand down, left arm reaches up as we twist to the back. Right leg comes through as we come onto our seat for our boat pose. And we'll inhale, lowering. Exhale, we lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Right leg comes underneath as we come all the way up to our cross-legged mountain pose. Arms will reach up overhead as we take hold of that right wrist, leaning into the side. And we'll make our semicircle, maybe meeting up with our block as we come into our half moon, lifting up the right arm and leg. Big bend in the knee for a soft landing for a runner's twist. Right hand down, left arm reaches up. We'll lower that back knee down for our exalted. Back toes are tucked under for our wide twist. So left hand will come down. right arm reaches up. And then we bring that left leg through as we come onto our seat for our boat pose. And we'll inhale, lowering. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, lift. Left leg comes underneath as we use momentum to come all the way up to standing. Arms reach. Take hold of the left wrist as you lean in towards the side. We'll create that semicircle coming into our half moon. Big bend in that knee as we softly land, runner's twist. Back knee lowers as we inhale into our exalted. And then we find that wide twist, hand down, left arm reaches up. We'll bring that right leg through as we come onto our seat. For boat pose, we inhale, lowering. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Right leg comes underneath, coming into our cross-legged mountain pose. Arms reach up overhead as we take hold of the right wrist. Lean towards the left. Semicircle it to your half moon. Big bend, finding your runner's twist. Right hand down, left arm reaches. Back knee lowers for the exalted, reaching that right arm up. Wide twist, left hand comes down, right arm reaches. And we bring that left leg through. We'll bring our right leg up as we inhale, lowering. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Do whatever you want. You can cross your ankles, bring your hands forward, find tabletop, find a child's pose, find any position to rest in, to check in with the body in, because the peanut butter's done. All right, this section is done. So I like to give little breaks in between. So maybe you close your eyes here. Check in with your breath, check in with our affirmation of I release all fear, allowing love to heal and transform me. Again, I release all fear, allowing love to heal and transform me. All right, we're going to be moving into our jelly portion, and we're starting on our bellies. So go ahead and make your way onto your belly. We're going to bring our forehead into the mat, and our hands are going to come right underneath our shoulders. So it's like we're coming into chaturanga arms, so you're going to have your little wings to the sides. And start out by just checking in with your breath, feeling the inhale as your belly moves in the mat, feeling the exhale as your belly button draws in towards the spine. And then we're going to tuck our left toes under. We're going to come into a tiger curl. So we're going to push into the mat, rounding the upper back as that right knee draws into our chest. And then we step that right foot forward for one-legged mountain pose. So left knee is going to draw in as the arms reach up overhead, flexing through that left foot like we have a big footprint underneath us. And then we step it back for warrior one leg. So making any adjustments, we can always bring this right foot out to the side. Back leg is super strong and straight as we push to the outer edge of that foot. And then we bring the arms behind the back, interlacing the fingers as we come into humble warrior. So we'll inhale, lifting up through the chest. Exhale, both shoulders come to the inside of that right knee, letting your head relax. Think about drawing that right hip towards the center line of the body. Inhale. As we exhale, we'll release, stay low. Maybe you take hold of your block. We're coming into revolved half moon. So we're lifting up that left leg as we twist towards the right side. An option that I like best, because I think it's easier, is to bend that back leg, find that foot or ankle, and lift up into your revolved dancer's pose. So if you prefer this option, always available during this part. Big breath in here. And then as we exhale, we're moving into a seated twist. So left knee comes behind the right as we come all the way onto our seat. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll bring that right arm behind us, hugging that leg in or using our elbow as leverage for our twist. Inhale, lengthening through the crown of the head. Exhale, maybe going deeper into your twist as the belly button draws in towards the spine. From here, we're releasing into that staggered side plank. So right leg is going to go to the back of the mat. Left hand comes to the top. And right leg is in front, so we're bringing that left leg behind as we reach that arm up for our staggered plank. To our wild thing, so pick up that right leg, come on the ball of that foot as we lift up the hips for the back bend, which we're familiar with from our warm-up. And then we'll come on to our bellies for our one-legged bow pose, which I hate this pose. Heart openers. So you can reach back, you can lift up that thigh, or you can find that foot with one or both hands, maybe lifting up the left leg. So same options as before. Big breath in. Exhale, we release onto our bellies. So that's right, folks. We don't have a vinyasa for either one of our main sequences. So right toes tuck under. Left knee draws to nose as we round the upper back. And then we step that left foot forward, coming into our one-legged mountain as we bring the right knee in towards our chest. Really lifting up through the crown of the head, flexing through that right foot. Inhale. Exhale, we're stepping it back into warrior one. So ground down through that back foot, making any adjustments to make sure hips are square to the front. And then once your legs are all set up, go ahead and bring the arms behind the back, interlace the unusual way. Inhale, we lift up through our chest. Exhale, humble warrior, both shoulders to the inside of that knee. We can stay low as we release those arms. Maybe finding our block, coming into that revolved half moon. Or we have our revolved dancers if you prefer to move into that variation, which I already told you that I do. Big breath in. Exhale, seated twist. So right knee comes behind the left. Sitting up nice and tall, and then left arm comes behind. We can reach up through those right fingertips as we hug the knee in, or use our elbow as leverage for our twist. Big breath in. Exhale. And we're moving into that staggered side plank. So bring that left leg back. Right leg comes behind it as we lift up those hips. So strong. And then lift up that left leg coming into our wild thing here. From our wild thing, we make our way to my favorite pose, one-legged bow pose. So find your version that you prefer. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Come on to the belly. Okay. We're going to pick up the pace. Check in with your breath. And let's go. So we're going to tuck our left toes under. Right knee to nose as we step it forward, coming into our one-legged mountain pose. We step it back for warrior one. Arms come behind the back, interlacing those fingers. Inhale, lift up for the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. We'll release for revolved half moon or our revolved dancers pose. Making our way to our seated twist. So left knee comes behind the right and we twist towards the right. Big breath in. Exhale. Bring your right leg to the back of the mat. Bring your left leg behind it for staggered side plank. And then right leg will lift as we find our wild thing. Right hand lowers as we come onto our belly for one-legged bow release. Right toes tuck under, left knee comes to nose, stepping it forward for one-legged mountain pose. Step it back, warrior one, arms come behind the back the unusual way. Inhale, lift. Exhale, humble warrior. Release for revolved half moon or revolved dancers pose. And then move into our seated twist. Bring the right knee behind, twisting towards the left as we take a big breath in. Exhale. Bring that left leg to the back of the mat. Bring the right leg behind it, staggered side plank. To our wild thing, inhale. Exhale lowers us onto our belly. Inhale, we come into our one-legged bow pose. And then we release. Left toes tuck under, right knee to nose. Step it forward for one-legged mountain. Step it back. Humble warrior, arms come behind the back. Inhale. Exhale, bring it forward. We'll release for that revolved half moon or revolved dancer's pose. To our seated twist, left knee comes behind the right, and we twist towards the right. Big breath in. Exhale. Right leg comes to the back of the mat, left leg comes behind it, staggered side plank. Inhale into our wild thing. Exhale, lower onto the belly. One-legged bow pose. And we release. Right toes tuck under, left knee draws to nose, and we step it forward for one-legged mountain. We step it back, warrior one legs. Arms come behind the back the unusual way as we lift up the chest on our inhale. Exhale, humble warrior. Release for revolved half moon or revolved dancer's pose. To seated twist, bringing that right leg or right knee behind the left, and we twist towards the left. Exhale. Bring your left leg to the back of your mat. Right leg comes behind it, staggered side plank. Inhale to your wild thing. Exhale lowers us onto the belly. One-legged bow pose. And then we release. All right. How we feeling? Just finished the jelly. So it's my favorite time of the practice. Peanut butter and jelly time. All right. So good time to check in with your breath. Get a drink of water. Slow down the breath. Maybe close your eyes. Just tell yourself you're badass. You got this. You're going to do amazing. You've already done it so many times. Pep talk time. You got it. Only one more part. And then it's almost over. So we're going to be meeting in our cross-legged mountain pose at the top of our mat. When you're ready, right foot will be in front, left leg will be behind. And before we get started, I release all fear, allowing love to heal and transform me. Again, I release all fear, allowing love to heal and transform me. All right, let's go. So reaching those arms up overhead, we'll reach for our left wrist as we lean in towards the right, taking our semicircle into our half moon. Half moon takes us into our runner's twist, where we'll lower the back knee down for that supported exalted. From here, wide twist, so right hand is down as we twist towards the back, reaching that left arm up. To our boat pose, bringing the right leg through, left leg meets it, and we inhale as we lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. We're coming onto our belly, so it doesn't matter which one you cross. And you can just come right onto your belly. From here, left toes tuck under, right knee comes to nose, and we step it forward for one-legged mountain. From that one-legged mountain, step it back, warrior one to our humble, so arms come behind the back. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, humble warrior. Releasing for revolved half moon or revolved dancer's pose. To our seated twist, twisting to the right. We'll extend our leg towards the top of our mat, and then the left leg comes behind it for staggered side plank. We inhale into our wild thing. Exhale, coming onto our bellies for our one-legged bow pose. We'll release. We'll tuck our right toes under, bring in our left knee in towards our nose, take a step forward, and then bring the right leg behind it. So we're coming into that cross-legged mountain pose. Arms will reach up overhead. As we reach for the right wrist, leaning in towards the left. We'll do our semicircle to our half moon, lifting up the right arm and leg. And then big step back, runner's twist. To our exalted warrior, reaching that right arm up as we lift the torso. Wide stance twist, so left hand comes down. Right arm will reach up. And we'll bring our left leg through our right leg as we come into our boat pose. Inhale, we lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. We're just going onto our bellies. So if you wanted to take a little chaturanga, you could, or you don't have to. And then right toes tuck under, left knee draws to nose. As we bring that foot forward, one-legged mountain, right knee draws in. Take a step back, warrior one, arms come behind the back, interlacing the weird way. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, come forward. We'll release for revolved half moon or revolved dancer's pose. To our seated twist, right knee comes behind, and we twist towards the left. We're extending that left leg towards the back of our mat, and right leg comes behind it for staggered side plank. And then left foot comes behind as we come into our wild thing. Coming onto our belly, we reach for that left foot, or we come into our one-legged bow pose, our version. And then we release, because we're done. Good job. Yay. Giving you all the claps. So make your way into a seated position from here. Just giving yourself permission to close your eyes and let that sink in for a moment. What an accomplishment. Big breath in here. Exhale. And we're going to make our way onto our backs to have any props that you might want to one long edge of the mat that are nice and accessible. I'm going to recommend placing one or both blocks underneath the sacrum for a nice supported bridge pose. If you have not tried 2 blocks, one for each cheek, you're missing out. So I would encourage you to treat yourself. And other options from here might be to bring your legs up towards the ceiling, coming into a supported shoulder stand. Could also come into a nice psoas stretch by extending one leg and bringing the opposite knee in towards your chest. This is one of my favorites. You just want to make sure that you give both sides some time. Or anything else that your body is craving as you come into this reclined position is what you should do. So great opportunity to allow ourselves to come into reclined inversion, to bring that blood flow towards the upper area of the body without the heart having to pump that hard. Once you feel complete, if you have those blocks underneath you, you can remove them and place them to the side. Maybe give your legs a hug, just check in to see if there's anything else that you need. Otherwise, we're going to come into our final pose from here of Shavasana. So we can take up space on our mat by having a nice wide stance, bringing the arms down by our sides, palms facing up. And I like to encourage you to take up space on your mat because our practice is a reflection of our lives off the mat. So the idea is that if we take up space here, we take up space once we go out into the world. And as you come into this final pose, take a moment to have so much gratitude for yourself for showing up to your mat. So much gratitude for all the hard work you just put in, and so much gratitude for this feeling that's a result of those first 2 things. Be so proud of yourself because you did amazing. Please know that I'm so very proud of you. And when you're ready, just make your way into a space where the breath is soft and the body is still. Shavasana. As always, feel free to stay here as long as you need. When you're ready, you might reach the arms up overhead, getting a nice full body stretch, extending those toes out in front of you. Bending the knees as you bring them in towards your chest and roll to one side in your fetal-like pose, our pose for new beginnings. I release all fear, allowing love to heal and transform me. Take this feeling with you as you leave the mat, because that is when our true yoga begins. From here, we'll meet in a seated position of choice. Hands come to heart center in our Anjali Mudra as we tuck our chin under. And I want to thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide today. It's always a true honor. Hope you have a wonderful day. And until next time, see ya. Namaste.